Welcome back to the great city Metrosis. In the city, there is an urban legend of a cosmic force that sometimes leaves audio files ruined beyond use. Not to fear, faithful listeners, for I have recorded the doings of our fine heroes. Listen closely and I will tell a tale. It all started with a loud banging on Piper's door. To her horror, it was Elektra, come to drag her out of bed to an early morning game of all-girls street ball. Try as Piper might, Elektra would not be turned away, and so they went. Piper was tired, and the game was going poorly. The enemy team proposed a bet. Our heroes were unsure at first, but emboldened by the taunting of the enemy team, they took the bet. Feeling the warm sun and a competitive fire, Piper shook the sleep from herself and was ready to play. It was time for her and Elektra to get their game on, and so they did. They crushed the game from there on out. It was the kind of game to send the other team home crying. Elektra was happy to take their money, but even happier about taking the victory. With their winnings in hand, it was time for a hearty meal. Elektra just happened to know a perfect little place down by the river. At the same time, Aurelius and Haven had some differences to sort out. Aurelius was more than aware that the outcome of the mission last week left tensions a bit high. He also owed it to Haven. After all, he risked a lot to get him that automaton hand. Aurelius began to explain. It was many years ago, but my family once ruled over the Styx. Raz was High Lord. My father was just a baby at the time. There was a brutal plot to crush House Aquile. My grandparents stayed and fought to allow a thief of House Aquile to slip away with the most precious cargo, their only child. I don't think my father even knew who he was. I wouldn't know. But Braz. Realization washed over Haven. So, that's who you were speaking to? Braz? Aurelius nods in affirmation. Haven was eager to speak to him, but Braz felt differently. After all, he is no mere parlor trick. Aurelius convinced him to speak, explaining that Haven's trust could be vital in the days to come. The exchange was brief, but it was enough. Haven was convinced of Braz, but not of Aurelius's intentions. It was all much more than Haven had signed up for. Aurelius shares his plan for the future, a place where power is in the hands of the people. Braz calls this a ridiculous notion. Power must be in the hands of a strong and just noble. The Styx is already ruled by people, and look at it. Crankhammers, red gears, and worst of all, the heavy brass. Do you really think they're equitable just because they are of the common folk? They would rule with an iron fist. Aurelius ignores Braz's warnings. Haven is surprised by Aurelius's answer and decides to pledge his allegiance, not to House Aquile, but to Aurelius's vision of the future. Elektra and Piper call out to the both of them as they walk by Bobby Joe's restaurant, ending their conversation. Elektra has to pay for their meals at the insistence of the party. They are having a pleasant conversation when they hear a boy selling papers on the street corner. Last time they read the paper, it had nothing but bad news. What does it have in store this time? Find out in episode 14 of Toss the Dice, Thieves and Kings. Thank you for listening. And though the audio is lost for this episode, thank you to the cast for playing Piper, Haven, and Elektra. If you are enjoying Toss the Dice, check out our other content on the channel, Fiction Plays, The Writer's Room, Challenge Accepted, and Xan Shorts. We will see you on the next expedition.